And I was talking to the guys. It's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us to fill that void that we're going to be missing from 4. And we just got to go out there and play for him.
He was having a tremendous year, just, my short time working with him. He's made such an impression on me, and he's, clearly the leader of this football team. And I have no doubt that he'll bounce back from this.
Dak's brother, Tad Prescott, posted a photo by his brother's side at the hospital saying, "God is good. He'll be back stronger than ever." And also that Dak is in the hospital room, and I guarantee it. Let's go, Dak. Continue to walk by faith. I'll make sure you continue to fight. Jerry Jones releasing the following statement: "We are all heartbroken for Dak in this very disappointing injury. I know this young man very well. I know the personal hardship and strife he has faced, dealt with, and overcome in his young life, and I know of no one who is more prepared from the perspective of mental and emotional toughness and determination than Dak Prescott to respond and recover from this challenge that has been put in front of him. He's an inspiration to everyone he touches. He has all of our love and support, and we have no doubt that he will return to the position of leadership and purpose that he brings to our team." All right. On that note, we bring in the birthday boy himself, Ryan Clark.
Birthday.
Hold on,
Looking
Molly.
like a baby still, Ryan.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
First of all, I want to say happy birthday to
Thank you,
Ryan
Molly.
Clark. I want to say happy birthday to Ryan Clark, but I also want to point this out. His damn LSU Tigers did not give him a nice birthday present. They were horrible against Missouri. Molly,
How are you going to do it to him?
Let me just say this to the
Won a
kids out
national
there.
title.
I hope
my
Ryan
birthday?
Clark and
On my
Marcus
birthday?
Spears. Now, seriously, I hope Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark go talk to them. That flagrant lack of effort. I mean, they were running away from tackles. It was the most embarrassing performance that I've seen from LSU. I don't recall ever seeing them look more embarrassing. It was bad.
And I'd
they
like
should
to
be
just
ashamed
say,
they should be
I
ashamed to
enjoy-
wear that
can I
damn
I'd like to
uniform.
just say happy birthday, Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan, I just
just
want to say
thank
all
you,
the
man.
blessings and desires of
you.
your heart. I hope you have an
I want you to
unbelievable
inspire
year.
them. Effort.
Thank you, Molly.
Ryan,
I
I'm starting
appreciate it.
with
This
you.
guy.
Won the national
Hey,
championship.
Yeah. When you have friends like Stephen A.
Talking about
Right.
him and talking about them.
Talk to me, though, about this with Dak. Devastating news. It's been such a tough year for him, obviously losing his brother as well. But we know his contract situation, right? The franchise tag, he doesn't have the security. So what does this mean for him now, his future with the Cowboys?
I think his future with the Cowboys is in jeopardy. When you look at where Dak stood when he was fully healthy, when Dak was complete, Jerry Jones was scared to make or didn't want to make the type of commitment that Dak Prescott believed that he deserved. So look where he is now. I mean, this is a serious injury. This is an injury that also can bring other complications like infection because the bone actually broke the skin. And so Dak Prescott has a long road back. Dak Prescott was asking for Russell Wilson type money. Dak Prescott was asking for more money than Jared Goff, and he bet on himself. And you're going to hear all the things. Well, he got $31 million. He has financial security. Listen, that's not how it works. How it works is you go out and you earn a certain amount of money. And when you earn that money, when you are a true leader, when you start 69 straight games, when you get this team in the playoffs, when you win and you do the things that Dak Prescott has done for this team, you're supposed to be rewarded in a certain way. And then now when Dak Prescott goes out and plays, and what happens, Molly and Max and Stephen A, is, we know that injury is a possibility. And you think, you might sprain an ankle or you might hurt a knee, maybe a shoulder, but you come back. We never put ourselves in this position. And the position that Dak's in is tough. And I listened to Mike Tannenbaum talk this morning, and he said what he would do is right after the season, as soon as he can negotiate, is offer Dak an incentive-laden deal that could probably get him between $32 and $40 million. I don't think that Dak Prescott signs that deal. And so now that Dak Prescott isn't whole, now that Dak Prescott isn't in a position to have leverage, will they even give him the franchise tag? And so for me, what we know about the Dallas Cowboys is it was taking Dak Prescott to play outer worldly to just keep them in games, and they had only won one. A team like the New York Giants that had only scored 3 touchdowns the entire year scores over 30 points. They will not be good. So Dak Prescott's best hope is that this team can't win games, that the Philadelphia Eagles win the NFC East, and Jerry Jones sees his worth, his value, not only as a player on the field, but a leader in that locker room. Because if not, I believe that Dak Prescott could be quarterbacking another team as soon as 2021.
Rather than give an opinion here, I'm going to defer to you by simply asking you a question and giving you the floor to answer this, because Max and Keyshawn were on with me at the top of the show. And what I lamented about all of this was, if Tony Romo, this is Tony Romo in 2013. He signs for $108 million, the largest contract in the history of the franchise. Durability was a question mark. He only had 1 playoff win at this moment in time. In other words, Dak Prescott's resume was comparable, if not better. Max's argument was essentially that he was offered the contract. He was offered an exorbitant contract by Jerry Jones. He didn't elect to sign. My position is somehow, some way, Jerry Jones would have gotten Dak Prescott to agree, and they would have reached an accord on a long-term deal if indeed he were Tony Romo. That is my position, and that's the problem that I have with this. Where do you stand on that, Ryan Clark?
No, I agree with you. I agree that the affection, the type of relationship that Tony Romo and Jerry Jones shared is 100% completely different than how he feels about Dak Prescott. And I can't actually tell you why. Only Jerry Jones could tell you why. He doesn't believe that going the extra mile or stretching the extra inch for Dak Prescott is worth it. He doesn't believe that in bending over backwards or giving a little too much for Dak Prescott is not only the best thing for his team, which it seems that sometimes when Jerry Jones likes you or he has a personal affinity to you, he doesn't really care what it means for his team, whether it's Tony Romo, Jason Garrett. He seems to sometimes put that above what he feels is best for the business or the football success of the Dallas Cowboys. He doesn't feel that way about Dak Prescott. He has shown that to us. He has proved that to us. That's why I thought that winning games was so important for Dak Prescott. But here's what I'll tell you. I remember when I got sick in 07, I missed, I think, the last 9 games of the season. Up until that point of that season, I'd played really well. The season before, I think when I went out, I was leading the team in tackles. I was up there in turnovers. And I remember when I finally got healthy, at the time, I'm like 170 pounds, and they just cleared me to where I can work out. Ray Horton was the defensive back coach. I walk in the room, and he goes, "I didn't know how important you were until you were not there anymore." And from that point on, I'd always been fighting for a position. It was always a position battle. They left me alone, and it was my show, and I got to be who I was. Because of that, I got to be here. And that's all you can hope for Dak Prescott, that it becomes you don't know what you miss until it's gone.
Because Ryan,
if Dalton wins, go ahead. Yep.
But Ryan, the fact of the matter is they missed the playoffs last year. They went 8-8. And this year, with Dak, the whole game, they won one game, which they should have absolutely lost. It took one of the worst mental breakdowns in the history of football for them to even win that game. And they beat the Giants by the skin of their teeth. And it was not going great when Dak was in the game. So how much better does Andy Dalton, or what does Andy Dalton really need to do? I'll tell you what. I'm willing to sever for Trevor. I'll give you Daniel Jones for a 4th-round pick.
Did you come up with that?
That's right.
Or did you steal that from somebody?
Daniel Jones for a 4th-round pick because the Giants are going to be drafting 1st overall.
Did you
Can
come
I
up
interest
with it or not?
Dallas in a Daniel Jones?
That was the best line Max has ever given. Sever for Trevor. If he came up with that, I am impressed.
I like it.
I mean, that.
But like seriously.
Yeah, I mean.
Go ahead.
No. I agree with you that Andy Dalton, that if it comes down to wins, because remember we talked about, was Dak doing enough? I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I said I didn't think he was. I felt like he had to beat the Russell Wilsons and beat the Jared Goffs, that the numbers really didn't matter. So if it still comes down to that, and Jerry Jones is going to look simply at the wins and losses of Dak Prescott or the wins and losses of this team without him, he doesn't get that deal. He doesn't get that money, which is why I stated in the beginning, unless Dak concedes, unless Dak says my leverage is gone, I'll take what I can to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, I think that he plays for another team because I don't believe Jerry Jones will go above and beyond based on personal feelings for Dak.
Real quick, I just got, I've heard now from multiple sources that people seem to be pointing towards Dak's agent. People seem to be saying that, in fact, there were efforts made to sign him to a big deal, but this idea of the opt-out, right, or of the shorter-term deal was big for Dak's representation for a variety of reasons. And if that's the case, guys, Patrick Mahomes signed a team-friendly deal. I know it was for more money than Dak, but he's a lot better than Dak. That's a team-friendly deal, but he has the money. Dak was offered over $100 million, and for whatever reason, he turned it down, and part of his value was wrapped up in his durability. He's always there. He's not just a leader, but he's always there. I don't want to be down on Dak Prescott. He's gone through hell recently, and I don't want to hear people talking about, oh, but he has $30 million this year. I'm sure he'd give that money back to have his family intact, right? I'm so sorry for Dak Prescott and what he's been through. But the fact of the matter is this was a choice as far as his professional life goes to not sign that contract, and this is the risk, is it not?
No, you're absolutely right, Max, and I think, I'm truly trying to balance the player in me who understands what he's going through with also the analyst that has to say, okay, Dak was offered a certain deal. He felt like that deal wasn't good enough. I think Dan Graziano makes this point consistently and constantly that he was offered a good deal. I don't know the exact numbers. I don't know the numbers enough to say if I think that's a deal he should have taken or not. But the fact of the matter is this. He bet on himself. He didn't want that deal. He bet that he would play well, which I believed he was. He thought that they would win, which they weren't, and he believed that he would be healthy. Now all of those things are gone. The leverage is totally in the place of Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, the Dallas Cowboys organization. And so with that, we can say plainly right now that his agent and Dak Prescott made a mistake. Now it's about what are the next steps. Does it even matter how well the Dallas Cowboys play without Dak Prescott? Does it matter how well Andy Dalton performs? Because now we have to figure out what is this next deal or this next offer going to be based on.
All I'm saying is this. I'm not trying to absolve Dak Prescott or his agent, Max. All I'm saying is this. In 2013, Tony Romo was made the highest paid player in the history of the Dallas Cowboys franchise. That is inescapable because, again, Dak Prescott was very comparable to Tony Romo. The personal affection and affinity that Jerry Jones had for Tony Romo is different than Dak Prescott.
I wouldn't say no to that, but they tried to have Dak break his record. Dak wouldn't take the money.
Yeah, but you're talking about breaking his record.
By the way, today, from the Cowboys' point of view,
the market changes over a span of 7 years.
You're right. It wasn't proportionally as much as you would think. I agree with that. From a Dallas Cowboys point of view, guys, today, it was lucky that he didn't sign that deal. Considering the injury took place, they're not on the hook for an injured quarterback for over $100 million.
Exactly.
You should have just stopped talking with Sever with Trevor. That was really your high note of the day. You really brought it. Earned your paycheck.
That was pretty good.
Folks.
Ryan, happy 30th birthday. I hope it's fantastic down there.
Thank you so